ladies, come on in here. We gotta chat. Hey y'all, thank you for stopping by. This is Nala K, and I am behind the wall. So today, we gotta discuss this new thing that's going on with the women 40 and up. Apparently, it's negative for someone to call you auntie. Offensive even.
I don't want to be called auntie because I'm gonna be 38 next week. I'm sis. I'm cousin.
So at the Oscars, everyone was crossing their fingers that Angela Bassett would take home the Best Supporting Actress award for her performance as Queen Ramonda in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. She could not hide how disappointed she was when they called out Jamie Lee Curtis's name. But that's not where it ended. A little later, Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors took to the stage to express their love for Bassett. Jordan referenced a key moment in Wakanda Forever when he addressed her as,
"Hey, Auntie."
And it strikes a nerve with some other well-known women in the business. So, apparently, Oprah, Gail, Ava DuVernay, and MJB, Mary J. Blige, have all gone on record rejecting being called auntie by anyone other than their actual nieces and nephews. Now, remember a while back, Maxine Waters, who probably should be called great auntie, she leaned into it. She liked it. She took it, and ran with it. But all of these other black women 40 and up are taking offense to it. Now, I remember when I went to the Anita Baker farewell concert tour, and it was kind of weird hearing them call her auntie. There was a lot of younger women there, and I mean, first I was surprised they even knew who Anita Baker was, but they were singing along and screaming, and they called her auntie. Hey, auntie, hey, TT. I mean, I was like, okay. And at first, it did make me feel a little old, but I just thought that was nice. That was cute. I thought it was endearing. But now women feel like you're calling them old. And, it's been a while since saying someone was old was not politically correct. And I just kind of didn't even disagree with that. I mean, I kind of disagreed with that. But now giving them a term of endearment that says, hey, I look up to you, I respect you, and I'm honored to take guidance from you, etc., etc. It's offensive. Are y'all serious right now? So, when I think about this, I look back to when first it was don't ask a lady her age. Then Wendy Williams was like,
I'm a woman of a particular age.
I'm a woman of a particular age. I'm also going through menopause.
And this is a woman of a particular age.
When she was speaking of a woman who was probably like over 40. And then it's just become this thing where older women don't want to be older women. And I've heard in the manosphere it being said that a lot of the older women are competing with the younger women. First started to hear that, I was thinking, really? But now I think they got a whole point. So check this out. Generation X, which is the 40 somethings and up, we were raised by a generation of women who were steeped in feminism. So when our mothers became teenagers and young adults, the second wave of feminism was in full swing. And so these women were kind of toggling between soft traditional feminism and embracing a level of masculinity. I remember the commercial. I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never, 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 never let you forget you're a man. 'Cause I'm a woman. And that song was on repeat in our mothers' minds. So instead of getting that training to be a soft, submissive, feminine woman that our grandmothers received, we got half-hearted, kind of cold, not a lot of attention, not a lot of affection, and a lot of mothers who had started to become the heads of households. Mothers who began the monkey branching, what they call when women go from man to man because this one man is no longer what you wanted, so now you're going to move on. Now, see, our grandmothers and their mothers, they held on to their man because they knew it was important for the structure of the family to move forward, for the community to be strong, that they stayed married. But our mothers were really the first generation that was unapologetically divorcing men, leaving men, going from man to man. You know, we had the sexual revolution that was a part of feminism. So our mothers weren't motherly. They were more so trying to assert their independence, trying to live, quote unquote, and to have experiences. And that kind of left us out in the cold. Now, then in the 90s, we began to get, and even before the 90s, a lot of that music in the 80s spoke of independence. Like, ain't nothing going on but the rent, you know, songs like that. And so then in the 90s, we had Foxy Brown, Lil' Kim, Trina, sexually free, completely over sexualized, leading with their bodies. And these were the women that we had on 10 in our cars, bumping through the streets and up in the club. And so there was no time for femininity and cooking and learning how to be a wife. So now we just got this whole generation of women that don't have husbands, and it's completely okay. And so now, after all of that liberation and fun and attention and that we were getting, we're now 40 plus, 50 plus, single. And we're not just over the wall, we behind the wall. And we're longing for that attention. Now, you can also attribute a lot of this to arrested development. Because while our mothers were experimenting and getting their feet wet with this new independence, they were lacking in motherhood. So they weren't giving us the attention, the affection, the softness that we needed. And then a lot of our homes were broken. So we didn't have a father in our home to guide us and to show us what a man looks like. And we didn't have that dynamic of soft and hard, of masculine, feminine, of submission and leadership. We didn't have that. So now we're just out here stuck and traumatized. And we're stuck at this young age. And now we're seeking all of this attention. And now that the attention has waned in our, once you get into your 40s and 50s, you're not hot like you were in your, late teens. I recall one time when I had gotten into my 40s, I was at the market in the frozen food section. And there was a guy, I don't even think this boy was in his 20s yet. And so I'm standing there trying to pick out some ice cream. And he comes up and says, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" And I looked at him and I said, "You've got to be kidding me." And his friend laughed, and I just kind of laughed and went on. And then, as I'm walking to the car, I'm got a little switch in my step because I'm thinking, oh, I still got it. He thought I was young. No, no, ma'am. I eventually came to realize that it had nothing to do with me looking young and everything to do with me being a quote unquote cougar. Because when you're a black woman and you in your 40s, you might have a youthful face, but your neck gonna give you away every time. So I say all that to say, I understand. I get it. We are women who crave attention because we didn't get enough of it. And even if we're married women, what I'm noticing are women who are dissatisfied with their lives. They're unhappy. They are thinking about what could have been. And this is even married women who've raised families and had husbands for 10, 20 years. And they're regretting and looking back and sad about what they missed. And then we've got all of us single women who have no man there, and our children are grown, and we feel like we're just stuck. But that's not how it should be. If the world was telling us that being a mother was the most important thing, that being a good wife and supporting a man was the most important thing for a woman, we would be in that mindset and we would be happy in families. And when our children grew up, we would turn our focus into, closer toward our husbands and in building up the community, walking in our purpose. But the world doesn't tell us that, because just like the Cosmo magazine created the Cosmo girl to sell stuff, the media is doing the same thing. They're propelling this modern woman, single, I don't need a man, I can do bad all by myself. They're pushing that in front of us to sell stuff. They can get us to go to school so that we're giving money to these private colleges. They are knowing that single women are going to need alarms. Single women are going to need someone to fix the car. Single women are going to need to pay for what a man would do for her for free if she would just be cooperative. There was a time when the older women in the community, in the village, in the tribe were regaled. They were respected. They were looked up to because they provided wisdom and guidance to the generations before them, the generations that were coming up. And the young women would glean from these older women. But you got to understand that the only way you get wisdom is by getting decades behind you. You've got to live, you got to experience, you got to learn. So instead of sitting in your empty nest, brooding over what was and wishing you had another chance and getting mad when people tell you you're too old, find your new purpose. Evolve. We don't have to live in regret. We don't have to compete with younger women. We have to stand in the beauty and the royalty of being an older woman in our community. So we talk a lot about what breaks down the Black community, putting it on these younger modern women. But a lot of that onus needs to be put on us older women, because we're not teaching and guiding them. We're competing with them. We're using them as an example. We're bumping Cardi B and we're bumping Beyonce and we're dressing like them and we're thirst trapping like them. And we're tearing down our community. So thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. If anything I said touched you, whether it touched you in a positive way or a negative way, let me know. Drop down in the comments. Again, I'm a new YouTuber, Nala K, Behind the Wall. And I just want to create a space for women who are older and maybe behind the wall, maybe single. I don't think that just single women can be behind the wall. I'm learning that married women can be there too. I want us to realize that we have purpose, and I want us to embrace it so that we can take our rightful place in our community and help it rebuild and grow strong. So like, share, subscribe. If something I said you think someone you know needs to hear, go ahead and share the video. And when you subscribe, please turn on the notification so that you will be alerted when I upload. Thanks again. You could have spent your time with anyone, but you gave your time to me. And for that, I am grateful. Thanks again, ladies. Ready, set, let's chat. See you in the next video.